Oh, is that today? I was supposed to do that video about helping you figure out if you're going to lose your hair. Okay. I'm not really ready for this. Okay, so there's 5 ways that these are all my theories. Okay, no one else on the internet claims this stuff. They would probably think this is all, just made up stuff. But this is what I've observed in my own life as a man who's done well over 1,000 videos on hair loss. Right? Okay, here's what I've figured out. It's 5 questions you basically ask yourself. Number 1, am I white? Now, I don't know. I don't know what you are. I don't know your ethnicity. But what I'm proposing to you is the more white you are, the more European you are, the more likely you are to lose your hair at a younger age. If you're not European at all, then odds are definitely in your favor that you get to keep your hair. As for me, I'm a quarter Mexican. Perhaps that slowed down the process for me. I'm almost 36. I'm 35 right now. I didn't think I'd be able to keep this much hair. I don't know. Maybe that little bit of Mexican in me is enough to slow it down this much. I don't know. But that's the first thing. If you're European, you're much more likely to lose your hair at a younger age. If you're not European at all, if you're not white, then odds are afraid. What about Jewish? I'm putting Jewish in the same category as a European. All the patterns I've seen seem to match up Jewish men with European men. All right. Number 2, how young were you when you could grow a full beard? As for me, I was 16. My theory is the younger you can grow a full beard and body hair, the more likely you are to start losing your hair at an earlier age. And the way I came up with this theory is I spent 2 summers in Thailand. I also spent a little bit of time in Korea. And what I noticed is men over there struggled to grow a full beard. At best, a mustache and a little bit right here. But then you'd see middle-aged men over there, and they didn't really seem to have much hair loss going on at all. So when I reversed that, I started seeing a pattern there that a lot of the times, men who easily grow a full beard, especially at a younger age, are more likely that they're going to lose their hair. All right. The next thing, gray hairs. Do you see any gray hairs in me? No, I have a few, but I pluck them. I mean, it's no big deal. I don't dye my hair or anything. I'm almost 36. My theory is if you don't have gray hair, you're more likely to lose your hair. If you're in your 20s and already have to dye your hair because you got so much gray, that's a good indication that you're going to be able to keep your hair. All right. Next thing. Look at yourself when you were 1 year old. Find a picture of yourself when you were 1 year old. Look at your hairline, look at the thickness of your hair. That is going to serve as a projection of how much hair you're going to have, or what your hairline will look like at my age. At age 35, that's a projection of what you're going to look like. And I base this on a theory that my mom had taught me, that whenever a child is 2 years old, you double their height in inches. That's their height as an adult. It worked for me. I ended up being 5'9" based on that. It worked for my sister. She ended up being 5'2" or 5'3" based on that as well. And already with my own son, I've done that, and he'll be almost as tall as me so it all adds up. So I thought there's got to be some kind of formula that correlates to hair. And so for men, look at a picture of yourself when you're 1 year old. That is a good prediction of what your hairline will look like when you're 35. And again, I'm not talking about females, I'm talking about males. Okay. The last thing, I don't care about your hairline. I don't care how your hairline looks, because that part can be deceiving. What I care more about is, are you thinning? If you pull your hair back, especially right here, are you seeing these kind of streaks? Because the streaks is showing you the hair that's basically gone now. That's what the streaks are. That's showing you what fell away from that. Do you see that? I have some thinning going on right here. I've actually got it on the top of my head as well. Maybe it's not showing up so much today, but also back here too. So especially right here and especially right here, if you notice that your hair is thinner than it is on the sides, then there's a good indication that, yeah, you are in the process. As far as, your hairline's going to mature a certain amount, and that's not necessarily mean that you're losing your hair. I mean, you've heard of the Norwood chart before, right? I mean, so you've kind of got, maybe it starts out like this, and then it starts going more like a V, and then eventually you end up like with me, where it's actually an M, the letter M, if you can see that. But see, it's not even that, because there's some men who their hairline goes back that far, but they don't have any thinning. I'm a guy who's starting to see the thinning too. So I would say the thinning is a good indication that you actually are in the process of losing your hair. Okay, let's do a quick review, and then we're out of here. First question, how European are you? How white are you? The more white you are, the more likely you are to lose your hair at an early age. Number 2, was it easy for you to grow a full beard? Were you able to do that at a young age? My theory is the more body hair you have at a younger age, the more likely you are to lose your hair. The next thing, gray hairs. If you have gray hair at a younger age, then that's a good indication you'll keep your hair. What's less likely is that men lose their hair and go gray early. That's the pattern I've seen with people. All right, the next thing is looking at yourself at a picture of your 1-year-old, looking at that projection as a 35-year-old man, and then lastly, looking for actual thinning. Despite your hairline, do you see that your hair is thinner in certain spots, and particularly right here up front and then right here in the back? Now, let me give this one more disclaimer, okay? I don't want you leaving comments telling me exceptions to the rule. I know there's exceptions to the rule, but these 5 theories combined, I feel, will serve as a good idea if you're gonna lose your hair younger, more so than later, okay? I don't want to hear about the exceptions to the rule. I already know about them, but these are the things that I've seen with myself and other people. If you're going to leave a comment, this is what I'm going to ask you to do, okay? Only leave me a comment if you're going to do all 5 of these things. If you're going to ask yourself, okay, here's how European I am, whether or not you could grow a beard, whether or not I have gray hair. And I'm not talking about in your beard, by the way. I'm talking about in your hair. For me, there's a difference. Looking at yourself at the picture of the 1-year-old picture, that's the hard one to do because you've got to track that down. You've got to find your mom and say, hey, and then lastly, look and see if you actually see thinning. Until you do that, I beg you not to leave a comment. I don't want people trying to prove me wrong until they've actually done the 5 steps. I feel that I'm onto something. I know that this is just a debatable theory, but in my 1,000+ videos I've done on hair loss, these are the things that keep popping up as far as, even though they're kind of bizarre and strange, these are the projections that I'm seeing that are the most relevant, okay? So remember, I do not give you permission to leave a comment until you have asked all 5 of these questions, and put that in the comment. Let me know how you check out with all 5 of these. If not, your comment is illegitimate. I do not take you seriously, and neither does anyone else on this video, on the comments. You have to answer all 5 before anyone takes you seriously, okay? I'm serious about this. I'm not here for people to prove me wrong. I want to see, I'm testing this out on you. I want to learn from you. And I can't learn from you if you don't tell me the answers to all 5 questions. I'm Nick Shell, and this is my debatable theory, these 5 simple steps to figuring out if you're going to lose your hair at an early age.